Can you make $100,000 a year on Etsy? Sure, some sellers do, but the real question is, are you building your own business or cooking for someone else's restaurant? Because most Etsy sellers obsess over the product, the photos, the keywords, the niche, but the shops that actually scale understand something deeper. They're not just selling products, they're building a system behind them. And once you look under the hood of that system, you'll start looking at Etsy very differently. Let's break it down. Let's cook with some real numbers. $100,000 per year, that's $8,300 every single month. Let's say your product sells for $25. You need 330 sales every single month. Now here's where it gets interesting. If your conversion rate is 2%, which is actually pretty good for marketplace traffic, you need 16,500 people walking past your shop every month. Not occasionally, not when the algorithm feels generous, every single month. But here's the part that most people don't understand. One product won't get you there. 5 products won't get you there. The shop's hitting $100,000 plus. They have a bare minimum of 50 plus listings, each one a tiny fire. And together, they create enough heat to actually cook something. Most people are trying to boil the ocean with a single match. That's not gonna work. Here's the thing about Etsy. It's not your platform. You're not opening your own restaurant. You're setting up a store in the world's most crowded food court. Millions of other stores, all screaming for attention. And after the pandemic, that food court became a war zone. To get even noticed now, you need dozens of listings, perfectly optimized keywords, 5-star reviews, monthly sales, consistent velocity. You're not competing with lazy sellers anymore. You're competing with professionals. People who've been running their stores for years. People who know exactly which corner gets the most foot traffic. And you, well, you just showed up with a tiny folding table. The post one product and pray strategy, unfortunately, that kitchen closed years ago. At the end of the day, every business runs on one fuel: traffic. No people equals no eyeballs equals no sales. It's that simple. And there's only 2 ways to get people to your store. Number 1, pay for them, like Etsy ads, Google, Facebook ads, for example. Or number 2, bring them yourself through your socials, TikTok, Instagram, email. Both cost time, both cost money, both require actual marketing. Which brings up the most important question ever. If you're gonna drive traffic anyway, why send them to a store you don't own? Think about that. You're spending your time building your audience, paying for your ads, and sending all of it to a platform that can change their rules tomorrow. That's not a strategy. That's business suicide. See, when someone buys from you on Etsy, you don't own that customer. Etsy does. You can't email them directly, you can't retarget them freely, you can't build a relationship outside the platform. The platform owns the traffic, the algorithm, the data. The customer, you own the work. It's like being a chef in somebody else's restaurant. You might create the best dish in the building, but the restaurant owns the reservation list, the restaurant sets the prices, the restaurant controls who even gets to eat your food. And if they decide tomorrow that your station gets moved to the back corner, well then you cook in the dark. This is where smart sellers shift. They stop building in the marketplace and they start building through it. Etsy becomes the entry point, not the empire. They drive the traffic to their own website, where number 1, they control the brand, number 2, they own the pricing, number 3, they capture the email, and number 4, they build the list, and number 5, they retarget the buyers. Because once you own the customer relationship, you can sell them again and again and again. And that's not a transaction. That's a real business. So Etsy sellers rent attention, but business owners own it. So, can you make $100,000 a year on Etsy? Yeah, you can, but let me tell you what that actually requires. Hundreds of listings, thousands of videos, thousands of visitors every week, constant optimization, paid ads or serious content creation, and zero control over the platform you're betting on. It's possible, but it isn't optimal. The moment you stop feeding the machine stops feeding you. So here's what I would do instead. Before you list another product, before you optimize another title, before you pay for another ad, I want you to ask yourself this question. Am I building a business or am I just working in somebody else's kitchen? Because that's the difference between those who make maybe, if they're lucky, $100,000 once and $100,000 every single year. And in business, just like in cooking, the recipe doesn't matter that much if you don't own the kitchen. See you in the next video.